So is this bag from Tailfin the best frame bag that you can get? Yes. No questions. This is now probably one of the best bits of kit that I've bought for a bike. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm not going to draw that out any longer. But there are a couple of little caveats that you need to know when buying these, which could impact really how good of a bag it is for yourself. So first things first, I already had the top tube bag, which I did a video on, and I was looking for a frame bag. I'd looked at the Apidura ones, and I had a friend who let me borrow one, but I didn't really like the straps going over the frame, the Velcro. It just didn't hold it securely. And I wasn't sure if it was worth the money that these things cost, but because of how the mounts line up with my existing bags and the quality of the top tube bag, I sort of paid that little bit extra for this, including shipping it all the way to Australia, and I'm so glad that I did. Now, when I first bought this, I wasn't 100% sure of the size to get, and I really wanted one that filled the frame nicely, and there wasn't any horrible gaps and things like that. So when you go on the Tailfin website, they have a tool, we'll call it a bit of AI or augmented reality, where you can upload a photo of your bike and you can check the sizing of the existing bags. You can basically overlay them over the photo of your bike, and it helps you decide which size to get. And doing this really is crucial for anybody who's thinking of buying one of these bags. Now, getting the photo right so that their little tool accepting it took me quite a few attempts, I will admit. Just for whatever reason, it just kept rejecting the photo no matter how I tried, but I finally got it to work. And I had originally thought that the 4.5 litre full frame bag was gonna work best for me, but it turned out that was actually gonna be too big. So this one is the 3.8 litre, and my frame is a 56 centimetre Specialized Crux, and it fits perfectly. It wedges in front to rear, and there's no gap, and I think the look on it is absolutely spot on. Now, despite how good these mounts are in regards to lining up with the top tube bag, this is so good that I have actually stopped using the top tube bag altogether. Even on a recent 400k ride, I just ran this on its own. With the frame bag being so wedged in, the one issue I did have though, which I noticed before I went riding, which was good, is on the front of it is the port, which labels a cable to come out through it. Now, because the ride that I was doing was, essentially, could have been around 24 hours, I had a battery bank in here, and I just had a USB cable coming out of it. Now, luckily, I'd already ran the cable out of it, but because this sat so wedged into the frame, getting the cable out and everything like that, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass. So I was glad that I'd done it before I set off, and it wasn't one of those things that I was going to attempt doing in the middle of the night to get a cable out to charge my head unit out. So with the fitment of it, if you are going to get one and really get it to fit snugly in your frame, just note that as good as this little port is, it can be a real pain to obviously get it out. Now, if you look closely at this one at the moment, you'll notice it's absolutely filthy. And that's because it pretty much now just lives on my bike because I use it every single day. I've ridden with this thing in some of the worst gravel that Melbourne seems to have lately, and some of the worst conditions because it's now coming into our summer. And even in one ride that was 4 or 5 hours worth of rain, this thing never leaked. I know they talk a lot about the materials and the zips, but it never leaked. None of the mud, none of the grot. I was absolutely coated in it, but these things do not leak, and they are absolutely rock solid on the bike. Now, got a lovely, great big zip, which is super easy even with the coldest and wettest hands to open. And you've got a gigantic storage bit in the middle. And there's even a secret little zip on the inside. Now I actually just keep a little bit of cash and some telephone numbers written down on a piece of paper. Handy tip, if you're going gravel riding, put a piece of paper with some phone numbers and some cash, because I recently was trying to take some videos and photos, dropped my phone, smashed, meant I couldn't call anyone and I couldn't pay for food. That was a rookie mistake. So you've got the main big compartment in the middle, and this is massive. I'd keep my gloves, leg warmers, big bag of snakes. That's the jelly eating snakes, not the Australia wiggly ones that like to come out. And it wouldn't bulge out or anything like that. You'd never notice this when you were out of the saddle. The other side of the bag has also got more of a slimmer compartment in it. Look, if you're going to be buying one of these, you've looked at the Tailfin website, you've seen better up close footage than this. But the good thing of this is there's a couple of little pockets on the inside. I've got just in there, I just normally carry a little thing with some Nurofen if need be, and a little safety blanket. One thing I do wish they had though is maybe a little pocket, because between the two compartments is a layer of fabric, and I'd love to be able to put something slimline in here, like a phone or another battery bank, and be able to get a cable through into the main compartment and then back out through the port. That little port on the front is only accessible from the main compartment, so it just meant that if I do have anything wired out, it's got to go in that main compartment. That's pretty much the only negative that I could say about this bag, is not having a little divider between the fabric, and that probably just highlights how good it is. So if you are thinking of getting a frame bag, at this point I just don't know why you wouldn't get one of these. The only reason you wouldn't get one, honestly, is the cost. But if you're buying cheap, you really are going to buy twice. This thing has already lasted thousands of kilometers in some atrocious weather, and apart from the dirt on it, there is not a single bit anywhere on the bag that's showing any signs of other wear and tear. So I think at this point I'm going fully down the Tailfin ecosystem, and I've fully drunk the Kool-Aid, and we'll see. But right now, yeah, 3.8 litre on a 56 centimetre bag. That will do me for rides for up to 24 hours, and there's nothing else I need. So it's perfect. Any questions or anything like that, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to pass any more of the tips or thoughts that I've had on this. But yeah, it's pretty much perfect.